This is something that's been on my mind.
Why do they all have glasses?
Well,
did you type in nerds when you were doing the prompt?
Actually, I know what you're talking about though, because I saw that there's a whole TikTok about that. If you type nerd, the person's gonna have glasses. Absolutely. I didn't. I just said AI bros. That's literally all I said. This was the prompt. All right. So AI art is fun. Yes. In fact, this graphic is AI, right? And prompt crafting can be like, it can be an art, it can be a science. It's a thing in itself, which is cool. I'm not like, understand that I'm not dissing on that, right? There's nothing wrong with being in. I love Midjourney. I love getting into Midjourney. I love doing stuff in Midjourney and trying like 8 different versions of this prompt and like change the weighting and do. I get it. I totally get it, right? So I'm not dissing on that part of it. It's just the broiness. It's the same thing that came with crypto, right?
Yep.
Here we are as an industry, and here come all these other people from somewhere else saying, no, this is why this is better than what you're doing. This is why we're better at doing it. I can use Microsoft Paint and do an NFT. Okay, yeah, you could. How long did that last? A year? Right? And so some of the problem that I have a little bit with this is like Phil said, yes, that's the correct way. Beta. And nobody's discounting people who enjoy AI art. It's the issue that people who aren't artists, who don't get a creation for clients, right? They don't understand why artists are upset about certain things. When somebody comes in and say, I'm a prompt generator, it's like, that's really cool. But do you know what the golden spiral is? Do you know the rule of thirds? Do you know why this is? Do you know why the stuff that you're creating looks good?
Composition, color, all your basic design principles. Yeah.
Right. Look how great my design. But then they present it as, look how great my design principles are. And so there are Facebook groups, AI art, Midjourney stuff, and I follow them because I like to know things about making better prompts or technology that's coming or whatever it is. And I'll see art in there. And people write stuff in there kind of discounting artists who actually make this stuff and who actually do this stuff for a living. I don't know anybody that's a prompt generator for a living right now. Do you?
No.
And that's kind of the point. Like and I wrote a comment, of course, the Facebook thing, right? I go to Facebook. I see a comment about something. I see a picture that they posted, and I'm going through the thread, and I see, this is going to push all those designers out of the industry, or, those kind of comments, right? And I say, right, but what happens when the client says, just change this one thing?
Yeah.
Right. What happens when they say, I really like it, the picture is perfect, don't change a thing, just change the splash light to the other side? For us, the little backlight is just rim light, moving the rim light over and hitting re-render, right? And for them, I get the response back on Facebook, of course, from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Oh, we'll just use outpainting. Like, I don't think you understand that you can't make something for a client and do exactly what they say. If you use outpainting on someone's face to change the rim light, it's going to change their face. The person's going to have a different face, and then they're going to say, that doesn't look right. And then you end up in Photoshop. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't think that those people, the AI bros, understand what we're getting at, because they don't understand art. They don't understand composition. They don't understand dealing with clients. And so that's kind of where I'm a little irked.
I think it would be interesting to talk to a graphic designer, like, a well-known graphic designer or someone who only produces stills, or a photographer, because us working in the motion industry, I don't think we have to deal so much with it. It doesn't impact us too much currently. It will soon, but like for someone who their livelihood is entirely based off of stills, I would love to know what their opinions and how they feel about this whole thing, because I feel like it impacts them so much more,
I just wish that there was an easy way to explain it to these people, because because what happens is they just dismiss and whatever. It's like, no, I'm trying to have a real conversation here. I understand that someday.
I've seen the way you have conversations on Facebook, though.
I mean, it ends up with me telling them they're in a cult. It's really the fact that someday there will be a way to do that. Someday there will be a way to shoot, even live. Right now, you'll be able to see us live. I could tell it to move this rim light from my bald head over to the other side. It'll do it live. Someday that will be possible, right?
Yeah.
But it's not possible right now. And that's what people are so quick to be like, oh, it's the end of artists. It's the end of artists. Well, no, we still got a long ways to go. If you saw our Sora episode, you kind of understand that,
Mm-hmm.
And Casey says writers are having a hard time. And that's true, because there are certain industries that are easier for these things to happen to, right? We even talked about years ago about how audio things happen and then you see the same thing happen in video, right? Mm-hmm. The writing is the easiest thing right now. So writers are, of course, having a hard time because AI can write their stuff. Now,
for someone who doesn't like writing copy, it's amazing for me.
Exactly.
But as, what's interesting is, once we started using like ChatGPT or something like that to help us write, stuff, just because I hated writing stuff, like stuff for, anything we'd put on the website or promoting myself or something like that. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. But through ChatGPT and being able to see how well it can be written, it makes me really appreciate copywriters and what they do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I always have to go back and fix it. I always have to go back and change a lot of the things that it writes for me. It's not.
I know, because there's too many puns.
With your stuff, there's not good enough puns. That's the thing. If I could figure out how to have like a ChatGPT that knows how to be punny for real. And even when I ask it for headlines, it's just, I've told it the story before, but I ask for headlines and it's just awful. You can have it kind of help you. You can have it kind of brainstorm, but I'm just like, I was trying to have it write the headline for McGavran, right? Moist meshes. And I said, I was asking it and it wasn't coming. I'm like, okay, give me something having to do with something wet and something having to do with like 3D modeling or animation, and it came up with like 15 different things and they all sucked except moist meshes was the only one with alliteration. And I'm like, there it is. You have to caress and get it to the point where it's supposed to be. It's helpful. But like Dan Marino says, Emmett Smith, GPT writing is very mid. It's very, yes. No cap on God. Yeah. It is very mid. But it's enough to get you going. It's going to change. GPT-5. It's going to get better. But I don't know. I just wish there was a better relationship between AI bros and actual artists when it comes to Midjourney stuff.
I think it's the tech bros, honestly. Like they get so excited about being in this like new emerging whatever. Like you see it on like Silicon Valley or something like that, and it's changing
the world, right. One NFT at a time, one AI at a time.